Hello, hello, hello. Crafty Chris here with another Scrap Your Scraps Thursday night. Sorry about that. Forgot where I was. Tonight we're going to be working on a graduation layout, two-page layout. I'm doing things using a whole bunch of old stuff and doing things a little bit differently. But I'm going to be making banners and words on cardstock using some old stamps. And I want to show you this because I think it's important to know. So these are nice old stamps. It's an old version of stamps from a home-based company, and they are nice and clean because they've never been used before. So these are very old, and I am now going to use them. So I'm using my old stamps. These are also old stamps, and you can tell that they're old because they're yellow. Now, here's the thing about old stamps. If they're just yellow, but they're still pliable, see how pliable these are? They're still good to use. Don't throw those out. If you do what I just did and twist it and it breaks, toss it. But these are still pliable. I can use these no problem. They're yellow, yeah, for sure, no problem, but they are usable. And of course, I'm going to use my stamp pad thing, my MISTI, so that I can get everything lined up properly. Because with lettering, I'm anal about lining things up. I've got my Hero Arts Intense Black for this. I could use a Memento. I could use a number of different inks. And I'm doing another thing that's slightly different. So I do have photos for this, so I am making it for an actual project. I have figured out what sized photos I have and what direction they go in. And I have them laid out over here so I can sort of look at them and make sure I get them grouped properly. But I am not putting them on screen because of family privacy issues. So I am going to be using these as if they were the photos, and I know what photos I have to work with. I have a little sign here, which I think is great, and it coordinates with this old paper. Now, this paper is interesting because it is actually paper, let's get it out, that is for New Year's, but I never got to use it all up. So I am going to use it, a two-page layout for graduation, because I think it looks great. It's sort of greeny grays. You can't really see that on screen. I'm looking up and I'm seeing how pale it is. Maybe if I just tone it down a bit. Nope, doesn't make a difference. All right, so it's like a greeny gray and beigey colors, and I just need to decide which pages I want to use. And we have backs and fronts and all kinds of options here. This is kind of interesting. It has like imagine no dream is ever too big. So that would be kind of a fun one to sort of have as an accent. So I'm going to put that up there. And what else do we have? And then we have some plain darker bits. So two kinds of darker bits. And then we have some lighter bits, which have, whoop, that one goes with that one, which have the stars as well. So I've got lots to play with. I think I have too much to play with. So let me get my decision making happening on what is going to be my base paper. These already have sort of an interesting kind of design happening on them. Let's see. What if I flip them around like that? Don't have to do much for that. But you know me, I'll probably find a way to make this more interesting. I am just going to get my pictures out and see where we can fit them. So this big one is a picture of the school stage. And this one is an actual graduation picture of my granddaughter. So that's going to be the end. This is going to be the beginning. And then I have multiples of ones and twos. So let me take a look at my pictures. So I have family photos where people are making silly faces and doing all kinds of interesting things. That's that. And then I have the crowd dissipating at the end, so that could go over there. This is the walk across the stage for my granddaughter. And let's see, this is her friend getting his certificate. So we've got hers and his. And then we have a picture of the two of them together, so we could put that there. Then I have more family over here. Her walking down to get her diploma. More family nuisance and nonsense here. And a weird picture of her grad invitation booklet with some garbage on it. All right, so this is a lot of photographs. I am going to probably use one of the background papers, probably the darker one. Let me pull that out so that I can mat these like so. So it pops out from the background. And I'm going to cut these the size of the photos, and then I'm going to trim the photos in so that they fit the sizes. All right, now I also want to have an interesting little saying. So let's let your smile change the world, but don't let the world change your smile. Actually, I think I'll move all of these over. And this will go there. And that will go there. And then maybe something like this. So I'm kind of just playing with how things could look. I'm not using a sketch on this, so it takes a little longer for me to figure things out. And then I'm going to put into this mess a bunch of these little sayings. So let me get these stamped out and I can throw these in and see where we're at. So I have a media mat in here. And I have my piece of paper. This is the paper I'm going to put everything on. And I'm going to stamp them all at once. Whoops, I need to get my magnets out. And my magnets have tape on either side because when I accidentally get them together and they stick together, I have to have a way to pull them out and pull them apart. So I'm going to stick this in here. And let's actually, I heated the mat by accident, so it's a little wonky, but it still works. And I'm just going to put, there we go. And then I'm going to grab these guys from the front, and I'm just going to make sure that I have room for everything. And these are all kinds of fun sayings. I want to make sure that I have trimming so I can trim around them. Okay, so I've got them all laid out here. This little exclamation mark I'm going to put in behind a bunch of them after I've already stamped them. So I'm just going to press down, make sure that I pick up all of the stamps. And you can see that the stamp is rather sticky. So I'm just going to take a quick moment and powder it up a little bit. So I get that stick off, and just going to wipe those quickly. Make sure it's dry, just put my hand over that. And let's see if it's still as sticky. Not too bad. So the importance is to make sure everything gets right into this corner because that's going to be your registration. So when I go back to put the exclamation in on each of these, I have to make sure it's all forced into that corner. Now we're going to ink up. And the nice thing about having a stamping platform is that you can go back in if you miss something or something needs a little more darkness. The other thing you want to have is just get this completely covered. The other thing you want to have is a pressure tool. So let's get this down. There we go. So now I'm just going to push this around, and I feel like I need more. There we go. Loving it. So it's nice and crisp and clean. Now that little guy, so we're going to take all these guys off. I'm just going to put them up here so I don't lose any. Sticking on my mat so they won't move. Now when I get them on my mat and they're sticking on my mat, I can just give them a quick wipe. I'll go in with the proper cleaner afterwards, because not much is coming out of this wipe at the moment. So I'll just stick it in the baggie to keep it moist. And now, oh, that's upside down, that's funny. I want to make sure there's no ink on here, so it won't leave a mark. Everything is squished into the corner. Press that down. Tap it with ink. And I'm just going to use my finger to push on it because I don't want to push too hard. It's a very thin little guy. Maybe we'll do the same thing to Awesome. Okay, so that's all ready to be cut up. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the actual title, and this is a little trickier. And I'm just going to get myself a piece of paper towel and dry off everything so there's no wetness involved. All right, now I have an overlong piece of paper, but I'm not sure how far I need to go with my letters. So I want to place my letters first. I don't like that side. There we go. This is a thicker piece of paper. Whoop, see? Oh, no. Okay, so that didn't work. So the other thing you can do is just mush them against each other to get them off. Best to go around a couple of times with the tape because one layer just breaks off too easy. We're making sure everything is tucked into the corner. I'm going to turn this around this way. Now, I haven't decided if I want to do happy graduation or happy grad. It's hard to say. Happy is definitely one of the words. So I'm just going to line up my happy. And there's only one P, so this is the interesting part. So I need to use pencil just to indicate the outside line. I can erase that afterwards. And now I'm going to move this P over here. So I need to have a little space between the letters. Not a lot, just a little. And a Y. Okay, there's a happy. All right. So we are now going to close this lid. And it's going to stick. There we go. So we're putting both these into the corner there. I'm going to powder this up again. It's just regular powder, nothing special. Any of your powdering tools for embossing would be fine for that. Or actually, you know what would be better is the powdering tool you use for getting sticky off of stickers. Still a little sticky, but not too bad. And once we do our ink on there, see some water. I'm just going to get the water off. Put this back in here so it stays. And now we're going to, oops. Now we're going to charge this up. Make sure everything's in there. And these are new, so I might need 2 runs. And just put some pressure on there. Let it sit for a minute. Dee, 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 dee. Yes, I need a second run. Depending on what quality your stamps are, if they squish too much, you may end up with a fuzzy edge. If they don't squish too much, you'll end with a nice clean edge. There we go. Happy looks lovely. So we're going to take, before I do that, let's just wipe it down. And then I'm going to put the P in. Now we're going to use this P. And we're going to put that P right there. Sorry if you're seeing my head. There we go. Making sure everything is tucked in. Close my lid. There we go. So everything needs to be tucked in properly. We're going to charge because we cleaned it. I probably should have left it dirty. We might need 2 runs. And just lift it up. Needs a little more. Make sure everything is tucked in nicely. There we go. And we have our beautiful happy. And now I need to make graduation. And that is the tricky part. Now, I could have used 2 colors. I think we'll keep the white because it'll... So I could have put a base color first too. So, I have to think about that. Graduation. So we need a G. And I need another A. So I'm going to mark this A where I need to put it for the next time. And I'm going to put the A here. Okay, so happy graduation. And what am I seeing? A little bit. There we go. Is that going to be okay? Yep. That will be okay. All right. Everything is stuck into the corner. We're going to close this down. Oh, lifted the whole thing up because we have lots of letters on there, which is fine. Just got to make sure everything's tucked back in. And I didn't powder these, so let's give a quick powder. And we're ready to go. And there we go. So we need another layer. Beautiful. Okay, so now I need to put my A back. So I'm just going to wipe these down quickly. Pushing everything into the corner again. Resting my A. And I'm just going to use my hands. Need some more. Make sure you wipe off any ink. Beautiful. Happy graduation. It looks very cool. I'm liking it. Okay, so that's it for all of my stamping. We're done with this tool. And I just put the magnets on the back. You can see the little holes from where they live. And that tool can go back. All right. And that tool can go back. Okay, so now let's do some chopping. We're going to cut up a bunch of these. And I like to use the edge of my cutting the plastic because on this particular cutter, it gives me about 1/8 of an inch. And that seems to be a decent amount of space. Now remember, I didn't ruler these, so ruler is my new word. So I am going to be making sure that I line up accurately. So I want to have 1/8 of an inch there. There we go. And then we'll just trim that off. And if I find that the 1/8 of an inch is too much, I can trim it down. Depends where I put it and how much paper can still be seen. So there's one. Let's get these guys cut off. So the first one is going to have that much off because I want to maintain the hooray or the exclamation marks. I'm not eyeballing that one. Might have been a bit too much. Yeah. So I'm going to take a little bit more off this one. There we go. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to cut down the middle. I might be a little tight on this. And I'm going to take a little more off the bottom of this. So I'm basically going to just trim each of these with approximately 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So we've got that one. Where did the other one go? That one. Oh, that might be a little too much on there. All right. All right, so these ones are crooked, so I am going to just cut down the center here. Now, we have to straighten this out. There we go. There we go. Right. 18. There we go. Okay. Go. Okay, so this is going to go back into my stash. All right, graduation is the next one. Same distance all the way around. I'm going to cut that off, goes in my stash. So that's the main photo. Wouldn't it be neat to actually be able to fit happy graduation across here? So then I'll move this to that side. And we're going to kind of kitty corner things a little bit. We can have our happy graduation here. There we go. I'm liking that. Now, this picture is the school. So we'll just put so cool there. This picture is of her sister. And this is all family stuff. So maybe I'll just put a family tab there. This one can go with this kooky one. I'm just, making it up as I go. And then, actually, I'm going to switch that around. I'm going to put love this with that one. I'm going to put family, these ones. And over here, we have, I've moved one over to here. Okay, so at the bottom we have get the statement and the photo, which is her grad photo. I'm going to put celebrate, high five, and one more. There we go, something like that. And then this photo is her getting her certificate. This is her walking down, her getting her certificate. And this one is the group photo. That can go in there. And with the group photo, we're going to have the whoop. And these are two photos of her friend getting his. And this one was a silly picture. Okay. So we can do yes, yes, yes. That's oh my God, because it's silly. And then let's do believe there. Whoop. And dream there. And nifty here. And I'm going to add kick-ass to the bottom of this one, because that's all the things that she is. So let's maybe activate this a little bit by having things turn in. There we go. I want this straight at the bottom. All right, I'm liking everything I see here so far. So now all I do is cut the backgrounds. And I think I might even trim this a little bit tighter. You start with too much and then you move it back to what you want. All right, so this is going to go in here, straight across the page. And that's going to go like that. All right. Okay, so now we're going to trim up some mats. And I'm just going to do it based on the photos that I see here. I'm going to use this darker, or I want to use the lighter. I've got this one. Does that go with that? Kind of goes with that. Or do I want to use the medium one? This is the medium one. Maybe I'll just use the medium one because it's a little bit lighter. And I am doing a lot of 4s. So let's start with the 4s. So I'm doing a 4x6. 4x6. So that will replace this one. Okay. And then a 3x4. 2 3x4s. There's a 3x4. And that should be a 3x4. All right. And I'll do 3 inches. Because I have on the other side, I have 3 3x4s. 4. So, whoa, what happened there? Ah, Chris. Okay. I might have to pin some things together. That's a 3x4. Let me stick this back. We'll go on this one. There we go. That's where it goes. Okay, so if you cut something incorrectly, you want to make sure that the pattern matches on the front. And you're going to use some old tape. I have this, but it's a little too old. I'm going to grab some new tape. Here we go. And I'm going to start with little bits first. I'm going to line them up at the edge. Make sure they're pushed up against each other. And then I'll put a piece in the middle. Alrighty. There we go. And then when you flip it over, once you get the picture on it, nobody even noticed that there was a cut there. Can you see a cut now? Nope. All right, so this goes here. And then I have 2 more to do. So this is 4. So these need to be 3. So this is the one that I made a mistake on. So that can go there. And 1 more to go. And we have a 3x4 here. Dream. So I'll take that off. Awesome. We are on our way. And now 2x3s. So let's switch to this side. This is 3. And I'm going to do 2x3. So I can get 2 out of there because it's 4 wide. 2x3s. There's 1. There's 2. And let's go down to here. 3 inches. That finishes this side. There we go. And we're going to flip over to this side and do 3. There's 4 of them here, so here's 2, and there's 3 there. And I have a little bit left of the paper, so 1, 2, 2, 3, and just 1 more to do. 4, and this is going to go in my scraps. There we go. So now we have all of that laid out. So I just want to make sure. So I've got this. 6. So that's all of those pictures. That'll work on this side. And then on this side we have 7. Yay! We got them all. Okay. So I'm just going to lift this and move it over here out of the way. And we're going to focus on this one. Now, I want to pop up the Happy Graduation. I may color it later. I don't know. I have to see how I feel. On the end of a roll of pop tape, you'll see that this stuff gets stuck. And I don't like wasting that. So what I do is I use it and I glue it down, because you can still use the poppiness of it without it having double-sided sticky. So I'm going to put one there. Okay, and then I'm just going to put glue on the back, and I still have my popping happening. So rather than throw that out and waste it, you can still use it. All right, so these are my popping Happy Graduation. Should I do it this way? I feel like that might be difficult. No, we're going to do it this way. All right, I think that's how it's going to go. Do I want it across the center of the page? Maybe if I move everything up ever so slightly. Yeah, it's still pretty central. Sorry, my camera's crooked. There we go. Ah, that looks all right. That looks all right. Okay, perfect. So let me stick a few things down. Now, like I said, I'm going to glue this about 1/2 inch away from the edge. And I'm just eyeballing right now. There we go. That looks good. Ooh, it's slippy. There we go. That's popped. And now this one, just about 1/8 inch from the top. There we go. There. That makes me happy. I'm going to put my glue away. Now, some of these, I want to have them come over the photo just a tiny bit. So maybe we should pop these. I think I will pop those. So let me get the photos down first. And what kind of an angle are we putting these on? Let me sort my mat out so it's a little bit straighter. Let's see. That looks okay, actually. So let's do that. And now we can go to our new pop dots. All right, and then this, I'm just going to take off what I need. And I am going to trim only a tiny bit of it off because I want to be able to take the rest of it off after I get the picture on there. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim the bottom half off, more or less, or a little less than the bottom half. And I have to remember which is the top side. So I need the adhesive on the top side. So I'm popping this like that. And then when I get the picture in there, I can slip it underneath and it will not affect it. So let's see. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I can slip a picture under there without it's getting stuck. So it's stuck across the top but not through the center, and this way I can slip something under there easily once I've trimmed my pictures down. And we're going to do the same thing to this one. And I always leave it a little bit out from the edge. Love this. And again, making sure that stuff will not be affected. It's perfect. Alrighty. This one I can just pop. It's going to lay between the two photos, so I'm not really worried. Pop that and put that between the two photos, but we want to make sure the photos are on the same angle as the pictures above. Now, is that all the words I had for this side? It is. Okay, so this one is done. Now we're going to go to this side. It's important to get these two things down because these are all going to go beside that one. I'm going to pop dot this on about a ½ inch between the two pieces, about a ½ inch from the bottom. These guys can all shift. This one was the one that we fixed, so I'm going to put just a little more adhesive on it than usual. But look, can you see the fix? Nope. Okay, not unless you really look for it. And this is going to go at the same level from the bottom. Now we're going to pop these guys. So, and these guys, I'm just going to leave a little space on the end here and pop dot from that side. So these can all go over the photo just a little bit. So celebrate. Let's start. That's down. Let's start with celebrate. All right. So that's that done. Okay. So now we've got to figure out the angle on these guys. So I just want to have my other piece here so I can get an idea of the angle. So I don't make it too extreme, like that might be just a little extreme. So if we did this. So that looks, let's move it over and see if it kind of looks like the one that we have here. Maybe just a tiny bit more. Here we go. So we're going to lay down these guys first. So that's everybody stuck on. And now we'll just do our pop dotting again. The picture that you will see at the front will have the photos, but I'll have the faces completely switched out. Yep, I can get under there, so that's awesome. Now let's just finish these guys off. All right, move a few things out of the way. Let's get our 2 pages together. Okay, here is where we are at. Put all those guys back. I am loving it. Look how cool that is. Okay, so it still needs something. So I'm going to go through my silver stuff to see if I can find something I can add to just pump this up a little bit. So I have 2 containers of silver. These are large silver pieces. I keep in one of these DVD cases, and then small silver pieces. So I'm going to look through these and see if there's something I can pull in. Okay, so I have added a couple of things. I found some silver stars, which I added up here, and I have like this grayish flower, which I didn't know I had. Excuse me. I have a little star that's on a clip. I put a star behind this photograph, just poking out. This frame I absolutely love. I put it right over top of the words. I might move it a little bit so you can see more of the words when I get the picture in there. I've got a flower here. I've got a compilation. This is actually 2 stars, but they're cut from the same die cut. And so it's got a piece that is matte and a piece that is shiny. And I think that just finishes it off nicely. I don't think I need to add anything else except the photos, of course. So I am loving this. I hope you guys are seeing something in this that you can use. I'm going to say, oh, that's reflecting my shirt. Isn't that interesting? It's one of those iridescent pieces, so it's reflecting the colors that are around it, and I've got a red shirt on. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me tonight. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Make sure that you like and subscribe the video at the end of watching it underneath the video in YouTube. And I will see you next week. Bye.